guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Tita Lavinia of Titas of Pageantry, and for this episode, I will be interviewing my first Miss Philippines Earth contestant, Jelina of Pearl Miranda. Good evening, Jelina.
Good evening, Tita Lavinia. How are you today?
I am fine, thank you. It's a little hot, it's a little rainy, it's a little crazy. We will talk about it. Kamusta ka? Ikaw naman ang kamusta?
I'm doing good, Tita. Actually, we're kind of resting with all the videos we did. Ngayon
Nako.
naman po, medyo po kami for the video shoot. Kasi
Okay,
katatapos
kasi
lang po ng,
virtual pa rin kasi, di ba?
yes, it's still virtual setting po.
Okay, so let's get into introductions first. Kasi Jelina, I read a little bit about you, but this is Miss Philippines Earth. Which
Yes.
province or city are you representing?
I am representing my hometown, which is Mabitac, Laguna.
Very interesting. I want to talk a little bit about Mabitac, Laguna, because Mabitac is the first time that I'm hearing about this area. When I think about Laguna, I think about Pansol, I think about Santa Rosa. Nasaan tayo sa Mabitac?
Mabitac, coming from Manila, it's 2 hours ride going to Mabitac. You will be taking the Manila Easy Road. And then, yes, Manila, if you will reach Mabitac, you will actually pass by Tanay. And then, before you reach Mabitac, you will pass Pililia. We're the first town in Laguna that you will pass by, coming from the east.
I am very interested with that. Kasi parang pag ini-imagine ko siya na nagko-commute ako or sumasakay ako somewhere, iniisip ko yung ibang ruta going to Laguna, the one going sa south. Ito, may antipolo involved, yung east na road.
Manila
Wow,
East
very
Road.
interesting. Very interesting. Sa research ko, I found out that you are the first representative from Mabitac. Tama ba to?
Yes.
At least in the beauty pageant arena. Okay.
Yes, that's
Jelina, that's very exciting. Very exciting also for, the city or the town of Mabitac. I want to know, how did you get into pageantry muna?
Actually, I had my first pageant, I think way back 2015 in Barangay Canlalay at Binyan. And then after that, my mother encouraged me to join pageantry because she believes that I am for this platform. I can voice out my advocacy to share with the people. So I decided to why not give it a try.
Okay, well, that's very interesting because usually when you have your parents pushing you to go for something, usually yung anak medyo hesitant eh. But what about you? When your mother pushed you into pageantry, is this something that you were on the same page with? Or is it something that you really reconsider? Because a lot of the kids naman, sometimes they're very hesitant, ayaw naman din nila ito go into pageantry. Pero ikaw, same page kayo ni mama mo?
Honestly po, I was also hesitant at first because I am that kind of person po kasi na I'm more of introvert person when I was younger. I prefer small circle, a smaller audience. And she said that why do you have to be shy, or why do you have to be why do you have to limit yourself to this smaller audience when you have what it takes to bring your voice to the larger audience? And I said, okay, I'll give it a try first.
Ako, sigurado ba tayo na si mama hindi nag-pageant noon? Kasi yung mindset ni mama very global eh. Parang, it's a good way of encouraging, but it's also, I mean, for other parents, if they want to encourage their children, I would probably think about like going into another class or learning another skill. But this one kasi, it's very competitive, especially pageantry here in the Philippines. Do you agree?
Yes, very competitive nga po sila. Especially po kapag nasa international setting na po, it's very competitive.
Oo, actually international setting, but more so sa national setting.
Yes,
And
national setting.
marami kayong, the Philippines of course is known as one of the hubs or one of the centers of pageantry. So, dito pa lang sa Pilipinas, grabe na yung competition. So, deciding to go into Miss Earth, we have so many pageants right now, so many alpha national pageants. Why Miss Earth this time?
I think I'm really into environment because seeing a lot of devastating news when it comes to environment, especially the natural disasters that's been happening simultaneously, like yung mga floods, all the natural disasters, it makes me rethink my action going rethink my actions as a kid and as a person that I think I could also lead and educate the youth that how to act now, because if we will not act now, we will not have a future.
Oh, ay, it's okay. Ayan, nawalan ka lang ng swipe. Okay, go.
Yun po, parang I believe na I can lead the youth because I also think that they are the key in continuing the legacy that we have been putting up until now.
Very interesting because you talk about the youth, and I'm looking at you. You have your full makeup on, but you're still very bagets, of course. So I want to know, saan ang gagaling tong interest to keep the youth in the loop? Like when you were growing up, even in school, what were the activities that you were into pertaining to care for the environment, and why are you focused on the youth? I mean, a lot of the contestants are focused on the youth, but like what I said, bagets ka rin naman.
Mhm.
So, ano yung parang pinaka-edge mo on how you can educate them?
Kasi po, I was raised actually, I think, I was raised because mga family ko, yung I'm actually the oldest. So, yung
Okay.
mga cousins ko is most probably 5 to 6 years old, mga ganun po.
Ah,
So, I was the
okay.
one
Oh.
who take care of them. I
De
educate them
facto
whenever
nanny
they...
ka. Oo. I feel
So,
you.
so kapag po nagkikita kami, Ate Jel, they're very, they always hear me out. They always, parang ina-absorb po nila lahat ng lesson
May
na
audience
sinasabi ko.
ka.
Yes. Parang
So,
I always think na, oh, my cousins are listening to me. Why not the other people? Since I already started this small, why not bring it to a larger audience naman this time?
wow, actually, magandang angulo yan. Like, if you have an opportunity to speak for the Miss Earth Philippines or the Miss Philippines Earth platform, magandang personal hugot yan eh. Kasi ako rin ganyan. When people ask me, like, Tita Lavinia, why are you so comfortable in speaking? Why are you doing this? Why are you presenting, like, your contents as if you're teaching? Pareho kasi tayo, may mga pamangkin naman ako. And growing up, yung gap namin was not such a considerable gap na para na talaga akong tita. I was more an ate. And naiintindihan ko yung thought process na nakikinig kayo sa akin, maliliit pa eh. Pero medyo bagets din naman ako nung time na yun, nung nagbe-babysit ako. So, ang gandang positioning. Maybe this is something that you could um, use further kapag nagtitrain ka for your Q&A. Ay, ang cute ng idea. Na tama nga naman, you start with a small group and then maybe think of a larger picture. So,
Yes.
I want to know a little bit about you muna. So, Jelina, how old are you? Give me a little bit of your background.
I am 24 years old. I graduated at Far Eastern University with Bachelor's of Science in Tourism and Hotel Management. And I'm very interested in traveling to different places, may it be locally or internationally. And I'm also currently studying three different languages simultaneously.
Wow,
I'm very much
great.
into culture.
Okay, I'm very interested that you opened this one up because I am into culture as well. I studied international studies. It's a little different from tourism because it's more on the political side. Pero meron din namang tourism side. So this is actually quite perfect for you kasi ang Miss Philippines Earth naman and eventually Miss Earth, talaga namang they go around the country, talagang they really look into like environmental causes that they can dip their toes into. So, three languages. Anong languages naman to?
It's Mandarin, Korean, and Thai.
Wow, very interesting. Hindi madadali itong mga language na to, ha? Anong nangyari? Saan nanggaling itong mga choices na to? At bakit simultaneous?
Actually, for the first one is Mandarin. I studied in a Chinese school po from grade school until high school.
I
And
see.
then, yes, and then the Korean and Thai, I encourage myself. It's actually my personal choice. I self-study those two different languages up until now.
Very interesting. Why though? Meron ba siyang, is it because you're interested in the culture? Is it because you got, uh, I don't know, interested in
Fan
some of
or
the
Korean.
thing? Oh yeah, yeah, like the Korean wave or the BL series. Meron ba tayong
Ano.
hugot na cultural hugot? Bakit natin naisip ang Thai and Korean? I mean, Korean I would understand, but Thai, very interesting.
Thai, actually, kasi my mother, when I was a kid, she always brings me to Thailand whenever she gets the chance.
Okay.
So, medyo lumaki po ako na laging nasa Thailand, and then parang feeling ko na, oh, it's like the Philippines, they're very welcoming, they're very hospitable when it comes to foreigners like me. And also the place, it's very comfortable and sobrang ganda din po. And the food, I really love their food.
I
I'm
love food.
a spice enthusiast.
Grabe, parang hindi ka pa busy, no? Maglagay pa tayo ng mga three languages pa. Parang lagyan pa natin ng extra challenge yan.
Actually po, I really do want to study another language pa po if
Okay.
ever na medyo conversationalist na ako with these three
Wow.
languages.
Oo naman, push ng push yan. If ever, anong language naman to?
Nihongo and Spanish.
Oo, parang dalawa pa yun. Grabe. O sige, i-push natin yan. Susuportahan kita. Nagagamit mo na ba itong mga linguistic skills mo? At least, kasi feeling ko naman it opens a conversation. If you're a candidate, it's a nice way to break the ice. Nagagamit mo naman ba itong mga skills na to now that you're campaigning for a title?
Yes, actually nagagamit ko naman po siya even though I am still not in the pageantry world because I used to travel a lot. Especially po when my family, my mother, my sister, we went to Korea. I was the one who became their tour guide because mostly Koreans cannot converse in English. So I was the one who toured them around like I was a native.
You know what, you're very lucky, and I'm hearing you you mentioned you like to travel, and then your mother would bring you to Thailand back and forth. So if you don't mind me asking, ano ba yung ating background? Meron bang business sa ibang bansa? Because you know, you're very privileged if you get to travel to a lot of these countries, and I'm very interested.
Yes, my mother, actually, hindi naman po kami mayaman talaga. My mother is a very, parang ano po siya she gets to travel because she gets also to meet different nationalities here in here in Manila. We have this business of what do you call that? Feng shui.
Ah, I see. Oh, sorry. Okay. Ah, okay. Alright, medyo na-stuck lang si
Has a feng shui
Jelina. Ayan
business.
na. Ayan na, bumalik na
my
siya.
mother, my mother is actually a feng shui expert.
Wow, that's very interesting. Sana nahulaan niya to. Nasa ng placement mo, nakakaloka. So, syempre,
Kaya
lahat
po,
ng preparations mo kailangan i-check ni mother kung sumiswerte ba to, sumasakto ba to sa direction. May ganyan ba kayong drama?
wala pa naman po, pero she actually consults one of her psychic friends also to do a reading for me.
Oh, okay. Well, even more interesting. I mean, ngayon lang ako nakamit ng someone na may connection to feng shui or, you know, looking at fate, looking at destiny. So, yeah, that's very interesting. So, you mentioned that you are the eldest. Ilan kayo
Yes,
magkakapatid?
dalawa lang po.
Dalawa lang kayo. And then, you also mentioned studying at Far Eastern University. Dito na yan
Yes,
sa Manila. Saan ka ba
yes, ma'am.
naka-base ngayon? Manila or sa Laguna?
I'm actually going back and forth po
Back and
from
forth.
Manila. But I was really raised here in Manila na. So we go to Mabitac minsan po kapag we're visiting our relatives and then especially kapag festival po, umuwi po
Oh,
talaga kami for the festival.
nakikipiesta, lumalapang. Kaya naman pala. So, magandang ano rin yun, magandang, you know, training ground if you get the chance to really travel. Because in what you are campaigning for, Miss Philippines Earth, it really helps to look into practices also of the other countries. Now na mas aware ka na, is this something that you do? Is this something that you are conscious about when you visit these places? Ano ba yung mga practices na pwede mo, you know, matutunan, pwede mong i-develop pa sa utak mo kung paano mo ipoproseso?
Yes, actually, yung pagta-travel po kasi, it really helps po, lalo na kapag traveler ka, you are being mindful of what you are contributing to the community. Especially, syempre, it's not, parang hindi naman po ikaw lang yung maapektuhan. It's the community who lives there who will get affected. So,
Yeah.
dapat po, kapag nagta-travel tayo, very particular tayo when it comes to the cleanliness or the rules that these communities have implemented kasi they are there for a reason.
It reminds me of, some of the news that we see or some of the
Mhm.
viral videos that we see of, let's say, a group of travelers who would eat at a buffet and destroy everything. Medyo nakakahiya. So it really helps to educate yourself of the culture and then try to impart the knowledge also to the people who, might visit. So now I want to talk a little bit about your character. Ano ba yung mga hobbies mo? Ano ba yung mga interests mo? Baka naman may mga platforms ka na gustong i-promote. Baka naman may mga businesses ka pa dyan. Go ahead.
Um, Actually, my hobbies are pretty simple. I just really love active activities that are focused on the physical.
Okay.
I did
Wow.
summer activities like taekwondo, gymnastics, but my all-time favorite sport is badminton. And now I am trying again new things. I play ukulele, which is I am very fond of doing. I'm When I was a kid, I really dreamed of being one of the musicians, but unfortunately, being a musician is a bit challenging when you're growing up and at the same time studying. So I took the initiative to learn ukulele and play rollerblades in my spare time.
Well, that's very interesting because I don't know, you seem so well-rounded, you seem so involved in other things. So, nakakatuwa ngayon. Alam naman natin, we are in the middle of uncertain times. So, if you are this bubbly, if you are this happy, telling me stories about growing up and what you like doing, parang it's just so light. I mean, I feel the lightness on how you attack these things in life. So, continue mo lang yan. Nakakatawa yung ganyang klase ng mindset. You're keeping yourself busy, which I think is just really important to keep your sanity, lalo na sa mga ganitong
Yes.
panahon. Um, what about like other interests do you have? Medyo mahirap ngayon, of course, because pandemic, but what about activities with your friends? Is this something that you do alone? Sabi mo na nga, medyo introverted ka, but what about your relationships with like some friends around the area? Meron pa ba kayong activities na mga pinupuntahan ngayon?
Well, yung mga friends ko din po kasi medyo takot po sila lumabas. So, we sometimes bring our bonding on a virtual setting. We do
Oo.
yung rave app po when we could watch together a certain movie and then habang naka-call po kami tapos nag-watch lang po kami ng movie para lang po hindi naman po kasi hindi naman po kasi ibig sabihin na pandemic is we cannot do something about it. We can always do something about it. We can find ways, lalo na po ngayon, it's the modern technology. We are surrounded by different technologies, especially the internet. Ito po, internet is everywhere we go. We can easily get connected with everyone. Kahit nga po phone call lang it's considered as a mutual connection with your friend.
And it's really nice when you adapt to technology, you adapt to like changes in
Changes.
the environment. So when the pandemic first broke out, akala naman natin end of the world na. And then, of course, right now, we are discovering and utilizing these platforms such as StreamYard, such as Zoom. I mean, in normal circumstances, I don't think makakapag-meet up tayo ng ganito na hindi inaareglo sa isang meet and greet. So, in a way, medyo maganda rin to. But I want to know from you, being a contestant, for a pageant that specifically looks into the environment, ano ba yung mga naging benefits kung meron man itong pandemic?
Mhm. Actually, I think yung pandemic naman po is it also has a pros and cons, but of course more on cons kasi we are all of the internet.
Ay, internet. Ay,
Wala na internet.
bumalik ka na naman.
but but I think po yung pros po niya is we are giving the earth the time that they need to heal.
Oh, yes.
Especially po yung mga
Kaya natin.
Ayan.
Ayan.
Internet.
Sige, ito
Ayan,
yan.
the
Gusto ko yung talk mo. Kung saan ka papunta. Gusto ko yan. Push mo lang.
Ayan. Ito po, one of the cons to, yung stable internet connection, lalo na po kapag bumabagyo, is medyo mahirap.
Maulan nga lang ng konti, mahangin nga lang ng konti. Ay, nawala ka ulit. Andiyan ko na ulit.
Yun po, parang we are giving the earth a time to heal. Kasi especially po na medyo less po yung transportation ngayon, we are parang lessening then the carbon footprints that we emit sa ating atmosphere. And I think that is a great step na kahit papaano is medyo nabawasan naman po yung impacts natin sa ating environment.
Thank you for sharing this. I have wanted to hear this from a contestant, even more so a contestant from Miss Philippines Earth. Kasi I am really very into looking at the healing part of the earth. Like, feeling ko, because my lifestyle has been like this even before the pandemic, na-feel ko na hindi ako masyadong nag-adjust. Unlike the people around me, unlike some of my friends and family, na talagang nahirapan sila. Pero ako kasi, I have always worked in the house
Diba?
and freelance. So, hindi talaga ako masyadong nahirapan dito sa setup natin na to. But one of the things that I am really very into are looking into animals. So, syempre, you watch one video, makakapanood ka ng maraming sunod-sunod na video. And I really like when they feature, some animals that are coming back to areas na hindi naman nakatira yung mga animals doon. And a couple of weeks ago, medyo nag-umpisa na rin kasi ako magpunta sa mga meet and greet with some of the contestants from Miss Earth as well, Miss World Philippines as well. So, ngayon, nakakapagbiyahe ako. Dumaan ngayon ako sa mga regular roads like leading to EDSA, and nagulat ako because yung mga dinadaanan ko na roads, nakita ko yung mga halaman, sobrang ang lalaki na, yung mga puno, sobrang green, sobrang ang tataba nila. So, for me na hindi dumadaan doon, nakikita ko yung direct effect
Yeah.
niya. So, mabuti that you brought this one up. What about in Mabitac? Because before doing this interview with you, I tried to look a little bit on your materials, and I found your eco video. And I found about what Mabitac has been doing. Kaninong idea to? Is this something that you partnered with, or is this something that's already in place in Mabitac?
What do you mean po?
Yung parang yung ways ng government to protect the environment, the local government of Mabitac to do like drives for recycling.
Yes po, it's actually their initiative po talaga. Parang they have this, what you call this, a day that they will put in the cleanup drive. Parang meron po silang isang araw, maglalaan sila ng one day for a community service for each barangay so that they could maintain and preserve the cleanliness. Especially kasi po, we're in the mountains. So, medyo kailangan po talaga natin maging particular when it comes to the plants, the trees. Kasi we're actually a catch basin po kapag umuulan. So, we really need to maintain na hindi po tumaas yung flooding when it comes to, pag may typhoon.
Very interesting. So even before you became a candidate, these practices were already in place in Mabitac.
Yes. Yes po.
And
It
how
has
did
been
they
practicing
feel?
for years po.
For years. Okay, so how did it feel na, syempre, bilang kandidata, lalapit ka sa local government mo, did you have to present yourself that I am the representative of Mabitac, let's work together? How did that come about?
Well, actually, our mayor is very supportive about me joining this pageant, and he did want to know what are my initiatives and what my advocacies are. And also, we went to the school kasi po yung advocacy ko po is educational tourism. So, I do want the school communities to be more involved when it comes to my advocacy since my target is the youth. I really do hope that at such a young age, the younger the better, I could impart the knowledge that environmental knowledge should be one of their practice in their daily life because yun po, I believe na they are our future. They definitely are our future.
And then, how does it feel though? Because now you have the support of the local government. Is this something na parang jackpot lang sa'yo na sinuportahan ka? Or was this really part of your plan as soon as you became the official candidate of Mabitac to reach out to the local government?
It's already part of the plan po to reach out with the local government. And I'm very much happy that my relatives also, especially my mother, has been very supportive na i-present din ako sa local government namin. And of course, wala rin naman po ako masabi with our local government since they're very much supportive with me joining this pageant and representing Mabitac to everyone.
Okay, Mabitac seems to have it all. I mean, mukhang ang ganda ng environment, it's lush, it's green. Sabi mo nga, catch basin. Medyo delikado, yes. But when I think about it, naiisip ko ang daming puno, ang daming halaman. I don't know if you can answer this, but I am really curious. May nabasa kasi ako or meron ako narinig the news somewhere na nung kasagsagan ng pandemic, marami sa atin naging plantito and plantita. So, naging problem daw ata yung parang nangunguha ng mga halaman sa mga bundok-bundok, sa mga gubat-gubat to sustain the demand for plants in the city. Natiktikan mo ba tong problema na to? And is this something na parang in a way connected din ba sa environment nyo dun sa Mabitac?
Sorry po tita kasi naglag yung kanina. Ano po yung perception?
Hindi, tatanong ko lang, hindi ako sure kung connected sa'yo. It's just that when I think about Mabitac and the way that you describe Mabitac, parang naiisip ko it's more forest-like, maraming puno, maraming halaman. And I just remember, I came across, I don't know if it was an article or a news clip, na nung kasagsagan talaga ng COVID, maraming mga tao dito sa city natin na talagang nahumaling into being plantitos and plantitas. So, naalala ko ang dami natin na talagang, started collecting plants. And medyo nahagip ko rin sa isang news na at one point naging problema siya kasi marami nang nangunguha ng mga rare plants sa mga bundok, sa mga forest. Is this something na medyo nabalitaan mo or is this something na parang in a way naging problema ba dun sa area? May mga nabalitaan ka bang ganito?
Sa amin naman po, as far as I can remember, wala naman pong problem po when it comes to the plants po sa Mabitac po. Kasi
parang depleting those resources. Wala naman.
Wala naman po so far sa amin. Kasi they're very much particular din po talaga when it comes to plants. And meron din po kasi kaming tinatawag po doon na sa Cota Paradiso, meron po siyang restaurants and then they also grow their own plants po to sustain yung restaurants po nila. Kumbaga, doon po sila kumukuha ng plant-based po nila para sa ilalagay po nila sa ingredients. So, wala pa naman po so far.
Walang ganong balita. And then, now that you're working closely with the local government, ano yung nakikita mong practices ng local government ng Mabitac na pwede mong dalhin sa mas lawak na platform just in case you win or just in case you win one of the elemental crowns? Ano yung nakikita mo particular na natuwa kang practice na pwede mo pang i-share sa mas malaking audience?
Ayun po, seeing my eco video, ang pinaka-close to my heart po kasi talaga dun is the cleanup drive. Since they require each barangay to have at least one day community service every month. So, it would be nice po to implement din po siya to different cities, to different municipalities. So, at least po meron pong involvement yung local community, yung mga tao, para maging aware din po sila na, oh, we have to do this kasi it is our duty to be able to give back the respect to our Mother Nature para din po sa cleanliness kasi we will be the ones who will be benefiting.
Ayun naman pala. So, looking at your preparations for Miss Earth Philippines, like we mentioned earlier, virtual na rin to. But, Jelina, you will be competing with more than 60 candidates, is that right? Aglag ulit. Tama ba? More than 60 candidates kayo sa Miss Philippines Earth ngayon?
66 candidates.
66. Okay. Sa ngayon, anong tingin mo sa standing mo? Where do you stand and how are you going to stand out even further? 66 candidates. Mas marami pa to sa candidates ng Binibining Pilipinas, ng Miss World Philippines. How do you plan to stand out?
I think ang edge ko po dito is because, of course, I am new. I have fresh ideas to offer to everyone. I have this knowledge to impart to everyone. Even though na, of course, I'm claiming that I will be the Miss Philippines Earth. But if I won't win, of course, this will still be something that I will still continue to advocate for. Kasi it is very close to my heart. Kasi whenever I see the news na deteriorating na talaga yung planet natin, sobrang nasasaktan ako. Not just because for the environment, because we will be the ones who will get affected. Hindi lang naman ako, it's all of us.
All right. So, Jelina, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing these. I am appreciating the fact that you recognize you're new at this, you have fresh eyes. Maybe there is something more that you can offer instead, of course, of just focusing on the known names na talagang nakikita natin, kilala natin sa mundo ng pageantry. I want to move now a little bit into your pageantry journey. Are you affiliated with a camp or are you operating independently?
I'm operating independently. Where
And
mhm.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
It's where I'm working independently po with my mother and my two handlers po.
Okay. So, I feel naman kasi if you work independently, number one, of course, yung mga decision, mas napangahawakan mo. Yung creative process, mas may involvement ka. However, anong feeling mong edge mo working independently na alam naman natin in the Philippines, when you operate within the beauty pageant community, you have to have ideally a backup of a camp. Pero
Mhm.
anong advantage of working independently?
I think po kasi advantage po working independently is my handlers, especially they're also a pageant enthusiast, they also have different ideas. Siyempre po, when it comes to camp, madami naman po silang inaalagaan, ganun po. And I think my advantage is their focus on me. Parang mas na mas natututukan po nila ako on what should I improve, how should I improve, all the details po, lahat po ng step by step, the process po of making me into a better person to be able to share my advocacy with everyone. I think yun po yung advantage kasi we're very closely, parang one-on-one po kami lagi na kapag
Ikaw ang
decision
alaga.
making. Yes po,
Oo.
parang lahat po ng decision is kaya po naming mapag-usapan. And when it comes to ideas, we really try to input different ideas na tingin namin na makakatulong po when it comes to my pageant journey.
Nako, feeling ko naman din kasi one of the challenges also of operating independently is, syempre, for the girls who go into camps, syempre may mga connections yan.
Yes.
Wardrobe is a little easier, hooking up with makeup artists and stylists is a little easier. Paano naman yung ganitong aspeto sa preparation mo? Kamusta ang ating styling? Kamusta ang hair and makeup? Kamusta yung wardrobe preparation mo? Alam natin hindi mura yan. May perang lalabas dyan. Can you share us more on this aspect?
Actually po, when it comes to my glam team, I'm very proud na yung glam team ko po, pag nasa Mabitac naman po ako, they're very supportive and very creative also when it comes to inputting their ideas. Lalo na po, syempre, yun nga po, medyo costly po when it comes to hair and makeup, the wardrobe. Pero yung wardrobe ko po kasi, it's handled also by my handlers. Sila rin
Ay,
po yung, kapag wala po yung,
maswerte!
kapag wala po yung glam team ko na from Mabitac, they are the ones who keep me company. Ito pong look ko po tonight, it's their work also, the designs, they are the ones who always look after me po when it comes to styling.
So mukha namang plakado naman sa'yo lahat. Even if you're working independently, you seem to have found joy in pageantry. Kasi, when I interview ladies for this platform, ang tinitingnan ko is nag-i-enjoy ba sila dito sa ginagawa nila. Mahirap kasi napapasok ko sa competition and then you'll go into it thinking na, trabaho ko to. Hindi mo pa trabaho yan. Mamaya magiging trabaho mo yan kapag nakurunahan ka. So, hanggat hindi mo pa siya trabaho, mag-prepare ka na lang. Jelina, you seem so put together. Ano pa ang kailangan mong i-improve and to work on para alam mo na nagawa mo lahat for this journey at this Philippines First?
As I have said before, Tita Lavinia, I'm not a very vocal person. Hindi ako masyadong communicative. So I think I'll be focusing more on my communication skills because I know I still have new ideas that I haven't found yet. Mm-hmm. I have a lot more to discover. So these ladies that my earth sisters that I have been sharing right now, that I have been competing right now, is my inspiration and my motivation to do better, to do a lot better. Kasi I think yun man po yung, they might find it as my weakness, but for me, it's my strength. Kasi it's a motivation for me to move forward.
Ayun. Well, I am going to wrap this one up. I had a really good time getting to know you. I mean, it was really nice and really refreshing to cross over into Miss Philippines Earth naman because I've been so focused on Miss Universe and Binibining Pilipinas. Shelina, my last question. The people around you, your mother, of course, and your immediate family, your sister, I know they're very supportive, most likely your friends and family in Mabitac. Kamusta naman ang love life? Kaya na bang i-handle, let's say, lahat ng mababasa mo on social media because it is a brutal platform kung magpapalamon ka dito. Kamusta yung, the other people around you that not necessarily connected to pageant? May love life ba? May support system ba? May inspirasyon ba tayo?
Yes, may inspiration naman tayo, tita.
Yan ang
And
gusto ko.
I'm very proud na ngayon my heart is really happy, and of course, ito rin po yung nagbibigay sa akin ng motivation, even though na I know there are lots of negativities, especially with this platform. But as I have always said, it is always up to you if you will focus on the negative side. Kasi hindi naman po natin sila control. We are not in charge of what others are thinking about us. It is up to us to filter them out. We do
Oh,
not
yeah.
need the negativity, especially right now in these trying times. We need to surround our things with every positive things that we can see.
Tama naman. Tama naman yung mindset na yun. And at the end of the day, you won't even get to meet these people. They're just empty words. And
Yes,
their personal hugot against you isn't really about you. It's mostly about,
themselves.
probably their disappointments and their frustrations. Jelina, please invite our viewers and invite the followers and supporters of Miss Philippines Earth. How can they support you and how can they follow your journey?
Hello everyone, thank you for watching us, and I am inviting you guys to watch Miss Philippines Earth on August 8th, and do not forget to vote for me at the Ecosystem app. Just scroll down and you'll see the water group, and just click my name, Jelina Pearl Miranda, Mabitac, Laguna. And please do follow me on my social media sites. Facebook, it's Jelina Pearl Miranda, and on my Instagram, it's pearl.xvii, all at lowercase. Tita Lavinia, thank you so much for having me tonight. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Maraming salamat. Ako rin, nag-enjoy ako. Gusto ko yung maraming mga linguist types, tapos magpo-push pa ng parang kulang pa ang oras sa isang araw. Maraming salamat. Kailan ang Miss Earth?
It's on
Philippines, sorry.
August 8th.
August
August 8
8.
na po.
Ready na ba tayo? O konting polishing pa?
Konting polish pa, tita. And then we're ready to go.
Ayan, yan ang gusto ko eh. Yung nire-recognize mo na hindi ka nagka-cramming. Maraming salamat. And Francois, if you're watching, if you're not watching, maraming salamat.